I want to talk a minute about Kavanaugh. I've been thinking a lot about this Brett Kavanaugh story, and I think it might well be our modern day McCarthy moment. And what I mean by that is this is a big topic of discussion, this Kavanaugh story in general. I have told you before, I don't agree with a lot of what Brett Kavanaugh says, right? I don't agree with Brett Kavanaugh on abortion, probably. I don't agree with Brett Kavanaugh on gay marriage, probably. I probably don't agree with him on whether or not the death penalty should still be legal in America. I tend to be socially liberal on all those issues. I'm not telling you what you have to be. What I am saying is this. We have reached a really scary inflection point in American life right now where what you believe determines what you believe. Okay? And that might sound complicated, but it's really pretty simple. I believe that facts matter. Okay? If I were a senator, I would be standing up and screaming from the heavens, whether I was a Republican or a Democrat, that I am voting for Brett Kavanaugh. If I were not going to vote for him before because I disagreed with him on all these political issues, I would tell you as well, whether I was a Republican or a Democrat. Now, I would have also said I think Barack Obama has the right to nominate Merrick Garland. As a lawyer, I believe we are getting things fundamentally wrong when you immediately oppose whoever a president puts forward. The test should be this. Is this a jurist of the highest possible imaginable? Is this a jurist of the highest possible ability level? Do they belong on the Supreme Court? This was an eminently reasonable pick by Donald Trump. Whether you like Donald Trump or not, elections have consequences, and Donald Trump made a decision to put on the best person for the job. We went through this with Clarence Thomas. I was younger then, but at least Clarence Thomas is all about the sexual harassment issues occurred when he was an adult. Okay? And so as a result, I would tell you this right now. You need to vote to go ahead and let Brett Kavanaugh pass. All right? I think it's incredibly dangerous in the era that we're in right now for identity to determine what facts you believe. Okay? And to me, this is fascinating. Okay? Throughout the 1940s, 50s, 30s, Jim Crow era South, many people who were black were found guilty of crimes they didn't commit by all white juries. That was not justice. That was identity politics, Jim Crow South style. Picking a side based on whether someone has the same skin color as you or the same gender as you is not justice. Just because you believe that some women don't come forward when they are victims of sexual assault does not mean that everyone out there is a victim of sexual assault. There is a difference between uncouth behavior and illegal criminal behavior. The worst thing you can say about what Brett Kavanaugh has been accused of is that he was uncouth. These were not criminal actions. Moreover, there is zero corroborating evidence that any of this actually happened. If our new standard is going to be, I am a woman, and so I believe a woman because she's a woman, that is not justice. That is not equality. You're actually making the same argument then that racist white people used to make in Jim Crow era South when people would say, I believe that white person because he or she is also white. If you read To Kill a Mockingbird, it's amazing. Politics is often a circle. People who are making the argument, I believe this woman because she is a woman, are the same people who were arguing in To Kill a Mockingbird that Mayella Ewell got raped because she was a white woman. Identity politics is not the way to run a country, and identity courtroom is definitely not. I was taught in law school only 3 things matter in every case. The facts, the facts, the facts. And right now, if you look at all of the facts, there is no way that anything has been proven against Brett Kavanaugh. He should be confirmed, and I think we need a modern McCarthy moment where somebody on that Senate committee says, have you no decency? Because if you are going to assume the truth of an accusation simply because of the sex of the person who is levying it, I have seen this happen time after time after time. People are allowing everything to be determined based on their identity. And I am incredibly troubled by what I see as an intensifying tribalization of American life based on identity and politics. And I see it infecting sports, and I see it infecting every aspect of our society. And I think what we need is for this fever to break. So I am going to fight against it. It disappoints me. I haven't paid a lot of attention to the Yale law students. It disappoints me if any law student is making a predetermined opinion about what they believe before they've heard everybody speak. It just doesn't make any sense at all. Okay? It isn't right. And again, if you went back in time, the people making the arguments that you have to believe a woman are making the same tribal arguments that old school racist Southerners would have made when they would have said, you have to believe the white person because she says she was raped or because she says that something improper happened. The same argument is now being made. You can't presume someone is telling the truth because of their gender or because of their race. I thought we would have seen all of this come to a close in the wake of Duke Lacrosse, where lots of people would sit back and say, you know what, we got this wrong. How did we manage to get this so fundamentally wrong? Instead, we're right back at it all over again. And I said 25 years ago, the OJ trial represented this from a racial perspective. OJ killed two people who happened to be white, and he was found not guilty, and one of the jurors gave a black power signal when he walked out of the box. I understand the difficulty if you believe that a criminal justice system has not treated you fairly for generations, decades, however long your life may be. I understand the appeal of not being fair in the judicial process because you are angry. But the way to fix American issues is not by producing more unfairness. If you believe women have been treated unfairly by the legal system, the way to fix that is not to treat men unfairly. If you believe that in the history minorities have not been treated fairly in the judicial system, you're correct. The way to fix the judicial system is not by treating other people unfairly too. When OJ won, I said, was found not guilty, I said the reason why OJ Simpson was found not guilty was because of all the young black men and women who had been found guilty who were innocent throughout American life. OJ Simpson got off because Emmett Till was innocent and found guilty, and because no one ever paid the price there. O.J. Simpson was the recompense for America's legacy of racism. His not guilty verdict was predicated not on the evidence in his case, but on the evidence throughout American history that racism had infected our criminal justice system. And I know it's challenging, and I know it's frustrating, but the way to end up with better equality in this country is not to redress past grievances in a modern era. It's to try and apply standards evenly in the present era. And that's what I'm trying to do here. That's what I try to do every day when I talk with you guys. Look at the facts, be as honest and straightforward and direct as I possibly can be.